I mean, in what could be one of the most difficult jobs known to man, it's time to rank running backs in the NFL. I mean, Jordan Howard, what the f... What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake Fantasy Headliners. Welcome back to the Draft.com studios, where today we're talking rankings, running back rankings here for the weekend of Week 4 fantasy football. And like I said in the opening, this has to be one of the toughest jobs in the history of all jobs, is ranking running backs in the NFL, especially for fantasy purposes. Why? NFL coaches hate your fantasy teams. They don't care if a player is performing and looking great on the field. They're going to bench him for the likes of a Jordan Howard. Give me a break. Gag me. Wow, those type of things are going to happen, though. But now the Thursday night game is over. We're heading into the weekend, and I have the top 30 running backs here for this weekend's games. Let's see who we got. It's going to be Christian McCaffrey here going up against the Houston Texans in Houston. We saw what Christian McCaffrey did last week, and with Kyle Allen under center once again, the usage should be through the roof. Christian McCaffrey is going to be running back number 1 this week. Number 2 is going to be Zeke Elliott. A lot of people disappointed last week because Zeke didn't have an enormous game against Miami, but the game kind of got out of hand. They rested him their second half for Tony Pollard. This week, they're going to New Orleans to face the Saints. A little bit more difficult matchup, obviously, but the usage should still be there for Zeke Elliott, and I don't expect to see a whole lot of Tony Pollard. I think that was really more game script related. They had that huge lead. That's why Pollard was in the game. Zeke still going to get you 20-plus touches on a weekly basis. Number 3, Alvin Kamara, New Orleans Saints, going up against those Dallas Cowboys and Zeke Elliott. And this is another one of those similar, scenarios like we were talking about with Christian McCaffrey, with Teddy Bridgewater now under center for the New Orleans Saints. We're going to see the usage of Alvin Kamara go through the roof. Why? Teddy Bridgewater needs to get the ball into his playmakers' hands as quickly as possible. Outside of Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara is the top option in this offense. He's going to see it through the air and on the ground. Latavius Murray not really involved. Alvin Kamara, running back 3. Number 4 is going to be David Johnson. Arizona Cardinals going to be at home against the Seattle Seahawks. And yes, even though this offensive line is bad, David Johnson's usage in the passing game really gives him that safe floor. He's still a top 12 running back here in fantasy football, regardless of format. He's not going to go out there and absolutely kill it every single week. And this is a difficult matchup. And he's still an RB1. Not hating on David Johnson. Got him at running back 4. Number 5 is going to be Derrick Henry. Tennessee Titans going to be in Atlanta playing the Falcons. The touchdown upside is always going to be there for Derrick Henry, and so is the usage. He's another one of these guys that's going to touch the ball close to 20 times a game and get the goal line looks. Very few running backs in the NFL with that upside. Give me Derrick Henry, running back 5. Number 6 is going to be Mark Ingram. Baltimore Ravens going to be at home against the Cleveland Browns. He's another one of these safe plays, right? He's going to get you between 15 and 18 total touches, a little bit active there in the passing game, and the touchdown upside is through the roof. He is their clear-cut number 1 running back and not really threatened for a whole lot of other running backs in this backfield to take away any touches unless the game gets out of hand. But Mark Ingram, another safe play this week going up against the Cleveland Browns, got him at running back 6. Number 7 is going to be Dalvin Cook, and I dropped him down a few spots, but this is a very difficult game for Dalvin Cook going up against the Chicago Bears in Chicago. The only reason I still have him at number 7 is this team in Minnesota is highly dependent on the running game. And as of right now, there hasn't been anybody even remotely close to being able to slow down Dalvin Cook. Even though the ceiling may be somewhat limited this week going up against that Chicago Bears defense, it's too hard to sit Dalvin Cook. He's an elite option, one of the best fantasy running backs, and you need to have him in your lineup. Got him at running back 7 in this difficult matchup. Number 8 is going to be James Conner, Pittsburgh Steelers, Monday Night Football going up against the Cincinnati Bengals, so it's a great matchup for James Conner. I expect him to bounce back this week. The usage should be there on the ground. He seems to be a little bit healthier than he has been in the past, and don't forget, he had a really rough schedule to start the season. Some of these easier games could help put some of the Conner owners at ease. This week, got him at running back 8. Number 9 is going to be Nick Chubb, Cleveland Browns, going up against those Baltimore Ravens we spoke about here just a few seconds ago. Difficult matchup for Nick Chubb, but they need to get him more involved, especially in the passing game. The offense is sputtering in Cleveland, and at times, Nick Chubb looks like their best option, not named Odell Beckham. If Baker can't get the ball down the field, I expect a heavy dose of Chubb here this week. Got him at running back 9. Number 10 is going to be Joe Mixon, Cincinnati Bengals, Monday Night Football, going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Joe Mixon's already come out and said, hey, I need to play better. I expect that to continue this week. It's kind of a rivalry game there between the Bengals and the Steelers. I expect a lot of Joe Mixon early and often in this game. He's going to be my running back 10. Number 11, enjoy it the last week that you can. It's Austin Ekeler. He's still going to have value once Melvin Gordon comes back, but maybe not this much value. Melvin will go right back up into the top 10. Ekeler, one more week up here, number 11, going up against that Miami Dolphins defense, which is absolutely horrific. at this point. The only issue I have with Austin Ekeler is maybe he does get sat later in the game if there is a lead, kind of similar to the Zeke situation, and we see a lot more Justin Jackson in the second half of that ball game. But as of right now, got Austin Ekeler RB11. Number 12 is going to be Marlon Mack, Indianapolis Colts. Going to be at home against the Oakland Raiders this week. Kind of a difficult matchup. It's easier to throw on the Raiders than it is to run on them. However, the usage of Marlon Mack getting close to about 20 touches a week, that's something you can't ignore. Still got him at a fringe RB1 right there at RB12 for the week. Number 13 is going to be Chris Carson, Seattle Seahawks, going to be in Arizona to face the Cardinals. Great matchup for Chris Carson, and hopefully for his sake, Rashad Penny does not get healthy anytime soon, because with these fumbling issues of Chris Carson, if he has another, he could start losing dramatic work to Rashad Penny once he's healthy. As of right now, it's still questionable whether Penny plays or not. If he does, I do limit the upside slightly of Chris Carson, but right now got him at running back 13. 14 is going to be Kerryon Johnson, Detroit Lions, going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. So I expect the Chiefs offense to continue to move the ball down the field, which means Detroit's going to have to continue to throw the ball all four quarters. Hopefully, especially in PPR leagues, a lot of those check down passes go towards Kerryon Johnson. He can have himself a solid day. Got him at running back 14. Number 15 is going to be Josh Jacobs. Oakland Raiders going to be in Indianapolis to face the Colts. Middle of the pack run defense there for Indianapolis, and I do expect Josh Jacobs to have somewhat of a bounce back game. I mean, I know he hasn't been 100% healthy, but where his value really is going to come from is if they can get him involved in the passing game. He hasn't been the first few weeks. Can he this week? If he does, he could creep back up into that RB2 status, that high RB2 status. Right now, got him at running back 15. Number 16, Devonta Freeman of the Atlanta Falcons, going to be at home against the Tennessee Titans, so a difficult matchup. But last week was the best week so far that we've seen from Devonta Freeman. Need to get him a little bit more involved in the passing game also, but he continues to run hard. And if he can find some holes behind that banged-up offensive line in Atlanta, he could give you solid RB2 numbers. Remember, a lot of people see Devonta Freeman in their lineup, and they're expecting RB1 numbers. You didn't draft him as a running back 1. Don't expect RB1 numbers every week. If he can finish inside the top 24, he's returning on his draft investment. That's all we can ask for at this point. Right now, got Devonta Freeman, number 16. Number 17 is going to be Leonard Fournette, Jacksonville Jaguars, going to Denver to face the Broncos. And if it wasn't for that long run at the end of last week's game, he would have pissed a lot of owners off. However, his involvement in the passing game here, the first 3 weeks of the season with 14 receptions, really gives him that safe floor, especially in PPR leagues. I don't hate Leonard Fournette, but he's kind of a mid RB2 at this point. Got him at running back 17. Number 18 is going to be his opponent in that game, Phillip Lindsay, who looked great last week. He kind of looked like 2018 Phillip Lindsay last week, and I expect Denver to kind of build off that going forward. It really energized that offense. They kind of, paid the price on the passing side of the ball, but Phillip Lindsay was their main source of offense last week, and I expect a little bit more of the same this week. Difficult matchup against the Jaguars, but the usage to be there. Give me Phillip Lindsay at number 18. Number 19 is going to be Shady McCoy, LaShawn McCoy of the Kansas City Chiefs, going into Detroit to face the Lions, but this one, we're going to need to monitor a little bit. It sounds like there's a good chance he plays on Sunday. However, if there's any setbacks with that ankle injury, he will drop down. Obviously, Darrell Williams would maybe be the next one in line to get the bulk of the carries. But for right now, LaShawn McCoy still hasn't been ruled out. Still looking like there's a chance he plays. Got him at running back 19. Number 20, I'm taking a chance on Justin Jackson of the Los Angeles Chargers going up against those Miami Dolphins. I mentioned it when I talked about Austin Ekeler. If this game gets out of hand, expect to see a lot more Justin Jackson second half, especially with Melvin Gordon coming back next week. If you have Justin Jackson, this may be the last chance you have to throw him in a flex spot. Great matchup. The usage could be huge in the second half. Some touchdown upside to go with it. Give me Justin Jackson at RB20. 21 is going to be Todd Gurley, and I'm not a huge fan of Todd Gurley. Very, very difficult matchup this week. They are at home, but they have the Tampa Bay Bucks run defense, one of the best in the league, and Todd Gurley is a shell of what he was last year. He's an RB2 right now. A lot of people also expecting these huge numbers from Todd Gurley. Hopefully, in most drafts, you got him right around there in the early to mid-second round. So remember, he's kind of an RB2 at this point. Take it for what it's worth. He's putting up decent numbers, not huge numbers. Got him at running back 21. 22 is going to be Wayne Gallman, New York Giants, going up against the Redskins at home in New York. Now, he should see the volume, right? No Saquon Barkley. Wayne Gallman should see the majority of the snaps out of that backfield, but the upside is somewhat limited. He's not going to come in and just be Saquon Barkley. We've had a lot of questions this week saying, hey, is he a must start? No, he's not a must start. He's a solid start if you need somebody. If you have better options, one of the names before here, then you're going to start him over Wayne Gallman. However, if you're in a pinch, maybe you're suffering for some injuries, it's not a bad choice to throw him in there as a flex and just take a shot if you have no better options. Got him right now, running back 22. Number 23 is going to be David Montgomery, Chicago Bears, and this one is so difficult. I mean, why in the heck is Cordero Patterson getting run out of the backfield in Chicago? That makes no sense when you have the likes of David Montgomery. However, the upside is still going to be there. The problem is the consistency is not. That's why he's dropped so far down the rankings. Got him at number 23. Number 24, Carlos Hyde, Houston Texans, going to be playing at home against the Carolina Panthers. A difficult matchup this week for Carlos Hyde. However, playing at home, he does play better there. And don't forget, just a few weeks ago, he was getting 20 touches a week here for the Houston Texans. Rough week last week in week 3. Expect him to bounce back slightly here in week 4. Got Carlos Hyde at 24th overall. 25th, so we're heading into running back 3 status at this point. I got Sony Michel, New England Patriots. Very difficult matchup going up against the Buffalo Bills. Still one of the most underrated run defenses in the NFL, and Sony Michel has been highly, highly inefficient up to this point. Got him at number 25 overall right now, and he's trending down. 26 will be Darrell Williams, Kansas City Chiefs, and this one is kind of depending on the health status of one LaShawn McCoy. If McCoy comes out and is 100% healthy, he's a full practice participant by the end of the week, Darrell Williams may drop down a couple slots. But as of right now, this could be somewhat of a split in this backfield, and Darrell Williams has done great with the opportunities that he's been given. Heck, anybody in this offense of Kansas City can produce in that backfield. I may be able to run close to 100 yards behind that offense and Patrick Mahomes. Right now, Darrell Williams got him at 26. Number 27, James White, New England Patriots, somebody who I'm not overly excited to start this week. However, if they can't get things going on the ground with Sony Michel, we may see a few more targets go the way of James White. Really depends on the availability and how many snaps and routes Julian Edelman is out there running. James White has some upside, but as of right now, he's just a high-end RB3 with RB2 upside. Got him at 27. Same thing goes for number 28, which is Chris Thompson. Really similar to James White. He has that PPR upside. He's a high-end RB3 in hopes that they can check down to him and he can really rack up some of the receptions. The huge ceiling, the huge upside, not really there. Not going to get the goal line carries with Adrian Peterson there, but in PPR leagues has decent upside. Got him at running back 28. 29 is Kenyon Drake, and I'm not overly excited about Kenyon Drake. However, he's had somewhat of a safe floor, especially in those deeper leagues maybe. Maybe you got a 14-team or a 16-teamer taking a shot right here on Kenyon Drake in a game that we know they're going to be trailing. Why are they going to be trailing? It's the Miami Dolphins. They'll be trailing every single week. Right now, Kenyon Drake, running back 29, in hopes that he can get a few pass catches there and bump up his PPR value. Number 30 is going to be old man Adrian Peterson, still the goal line back there for the Washington Redskins. Not going to be overly efficient, but still running hard. If they can get him a few goal line touches, a few red zone touches, he has that touchdown upside. And at this point, once you get to about number 30, the pickings are somewhat slim when it comes to usage, so you got to try to find that touchdown upside, going with Adrian Peterson on the road to face the Giants. All right, so here we go, heading into the weekend. Those are my Week 4 running backs here for this Sunday's and Monday's game. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section, though. You may disagree with a few of these picks, and that's fine. I'm not on here saying I'm going to be 100% correct. I love it when people come back to the comment section and say, you missed on so-and-so. Okay, I'm not going to be perfect. Nobody's going to be perfect out there. It's fantasy football. There's a lot of luck involved. We try to analyze as much as we can, but there's no way we're going to be 100% correct. But maybe combined together, maybe you have some knowledge, some information that I don't have. And maybe together we can come up with the best possible case scenario to help people win all kinds of fantasy football matchups all across the country. Really looking forward to it. Really appreciate the support. Channel still growing, and we are greatly, greatly, greatly appreciative for that. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and we'll talk to you later.